Greetings, my friends. This is Maerlande. Let's come back to some more Tactical Briefing 3 and Maerlande with turn number 25. So the action is fairly solid. Vanheim made somewhat of a counterattack. I'm trying out the Bind Fire Imp spell. We talked about that before. And right off the top, let's have a look at my research. So I got my key Construction 4. Now I'm going to move on to some blood magic. The purpose of Construction 4 was to get sanguine dowsing rods. And continuing site searching, I don't think we need to take... Oh, wait a minute, let's just see what this is. Whispering Woods. Oh, enchantresses. Oh, very sweet. For those who may not know, enchantresses are one of the nicer independents you can find. If you look at recruits, they can fill holes in your elemental schools. In my case, one of the areas I have very big limits is in air magic and earth magic. So I can fill those holes with enchantresses with a bit of luck. The chances of getting a 3 level in any one is pretty poor, with the exception of their initial nature. But they're a great unit. Now, other than that, back to messages for a minute. Some hunting was successful. So I started a basic level of blood hunting. You can see I got about 30 slaves this turn. And there was a battle. Vanheim attacked me. So that went very poorly for Vanheim. Let's see why. We'll zoom in and take a look. I believe we'll see when we zoom in. Hit the pause briefly. And then I'm going to look at how I did the layout. So you can see here I have the PD that I purchased. So they'll soak up some casualties. And I've set some small lines of Maerlande slaves, free spawn created by my tribal kings, to soak up damage as well. And then big piles of jaguars in the back on attack. And I do have some slaves, but these magi have only very limited spells they can cast, just summon imps. But even some imps will make a difference. So you can see the imps kind of tie him up. He brought some swordsmen. I believe that's a mercenary group. And the imps will tie them up and mess up the formations, giving my other troops time to move forward. And more imps being cast. So I hit the fast forward. And I don't think there's very much to see, really. The imps are nothing very spectacular, but they have a very high defense skill. And they have a good chance to do some decent damage. 11 attacks, quite good. At damage level of 9 with their claws. They have very little hit points, but they have a bit of protection, so if you compare them to a lot of light infantry, they do very well. And they fly, so they can jump around and screw formations and take out magi in the back, potentially, if they can get over. So, clearly, nothing wrong with using imps. And you get 5 per slave when you cast them in battle, so it's an economical spell. Okay, I don't think I feel like watching all of this. We can see from the battle report that it went horribly for my opponent. And that's good enough to know. I counterattacked him, or continued to attack him, and failed. I was unable to take over his fort again. I could see why. He brought out his main army. I'm pretty sure that's the core of what he has available for armies. 4 Van Jarls, 45 Van Heers. So let's watch and take a quick look. Zooming in, my formation is very simple, and I wasn't doing anything too special. I really was just trying to take out some province defense. So we got a good bless on, and the Jags will wait a minute and then rush forward. Coming at me, well, he rebought serious province defense. All these militias are province defense. And in the middle, a big horde of, well, Van Heers, and a handful of cavalry. In this case, mounted herdmen's. So he's not using sacred cavalry, and he is bringing forward, I think, right here, zooming in, yeah, a Van Heers to actually fight. Not bad. It's blessed. Yes, take a look. So F4. And flaming weapon, so F9. So it'll chop things up pretty quick if it doesn't fatigue out. Hit my pause again and come forward. So the Jaguars have some good potential to take out those mounted herdmen, but you can see javelins are taking a bit of a toll out of my jaguars. Oh yes, and some lightning bolts, so that adds to the difficulty. Now with a little luck, some of these lightning bolts might damage the guys throwing them. They've got magic resistance of 17, so the blood vengeance is not doing anything, and I ran away. So that was that. Not much we can do about that. Try again later. Some events, some gems. Sectarian movement has emerged in the province. A false prophet is preaching and gathering his flock. Ouch. Well, where's Sulfuria? I don't think I'm going to do anything about that. I don't really want to take a bunch of time to move a crappy little patrol force through those swamps over there. So we're just going to leave it alone. Moving about, site searchers are doing their job. Up here, more site searching. And I put together a significant force. You can see that what little is left on this side of the river, I decided to pull back. I'm actually hoping to heat things up over here. It is spring, so things will warm up with summer coming. And my dominion is heat. So if I can warm this up and thaw these two frozen rivers and keep him from flanking me over there, I can focus. That was one of my intentions in this turn, and hopefully it'll come together. Now we've got some pretty serious, we've got blood hunting still going on in behind. I brought a priest king up here, excellent leader, plus some magic support. And I've started building a fort here. I've already templed, so I'm doing some sacrifice. And that's part of my plan to try to increase my dominion and get rid of that access path across the river. It worked for me for a while, but now I think it's more of a weakness to allow him to flank. And this lets me concentrate my forces moving here towards the northeast. So that's my hope. Just moving to scout here. So I think we've covered turn 25. Let's exit here, open turn number 26, and see what develops. I don't remember right now back to turn 26 very well. Blood magic, we've got level 2, so we're working our way up there. Some fiery imps. I'm going to take a look at them. Oh, they're kind of fun. Yeah, we looked at them once before, and we're going to roll them out once we can, but they are demons, which does cause some leadership challenges. I'm going to have to haul them around with blood mages, because right now that's the only kind of undead demon leadership I have available. And I think if we look, we should be making, there we go, we're starting to make some sanguine dowsing rods. A couple of them there. And stockpiled some slaves. So now it's time to turn up the slave economy, or the blood economy. And that's sort of the core of what's happening in Mountains of Madness here. We're still searching. I also see, looks like Calum has decided to fight Soramadia. So back to the messages for a moment. Holberg. He attacked back at me. Where's Holberg? Over here. Ah, I was correct. He is going to attempt a flanking maneuver with stealthy glamour troops that I couldn't see. Now, this has meant, now that I've spotted that guy, and this river did not thaw, I'm going to have to pull back. I can't afford to lose this fort, and I'm not in any great hurry to try to take him out. He's already badly damaged, so I can afford to be cautious. And I don't mind being cautious. It's never really a bad thing. Not when you have an economic advantage. And looking at the province layout, he did get another fort up over here, but he's still blocked by Bogus and his pals. So reinforcements, he'll have to sneak them through, but that's still helpful. Slow. You can't take advantage of any terrain bonuses or movement advantage. So my evaluation is that I have a significant economic advantage. I have 3 forts already, 4th fort coming up. It might be a good time to take a look at the score graphs. Yeah, so there we are. I have almost double his provinces, if we turn them on and off. I have 1 more fort. My income is not as much better as it could be, but then I'm doing some blood hunting, so that's kicking my income. My gen income absolutely dominates him. My research is terrible, but so is his. So he has no gain there. For Dominion, I'm doing fine. And for army size, well, you could see, almost triple. So effectively, this war is really over. It's just a case of the mop-up. And since he can't pull in any help, being a no diplomacy game, there's not a whole heck of a lot he can do. I can just slowly bring my forces to bear, try to fight him in one powerful and decisive battle, and then take out his capital. Back at home, no major action. I'm hunting my capital with some sanguine dowsing rods on some Michlid priests and some high priests of the sun. That works well. Tried out these little imp familiars. Made a couple of them. They're kind of neat. Give you a boost to research. I'm not sure if their combat ability is very helpful. And I don't really intend to take research magi out into combat. They're cursed, so they can't come off. So that guy's probably going to have a life the rest of his existence hanging out there in a fort. My other forts, I think it's safe to say that, see, this one being 7,500 population, I intend to continue to have as a blood hunting center for the rest of the game. It's got some trolling going on, a couple of hunters. Let's just take a look back to messages. Okay, we're coming around, so we're getting that kind of 30 range with 3 hunters and 2 hunters and 2 hunters. So not bad. I intend that to go a great deal higher, but it's good enough for the moment. I will be rolling out hunters to some of the other provinces with 5,000 plus population, but not too much. For example, I don't really want to hunt this province at 14,000 because it's a good source of cash. And you do need cash. I'm still recruiting heavily on jaguars out of all my forts to build up that force to crush Michlin's or Vanheim's army. Not Michlin's, that's me. I don't want to crush my own army. So I'm going to call it done for turn number 26. There just isn't anything too terribly exciting. I don't know how this war between Calum and Soramadia is going to turn out. Looks like Soramadia is being beat up by Calum using simple thugs. Eagle King thugs, probably. Maybe we could see under the read a message. Is there one here where we see a fight? There we go. So, a Seraph and some archers against some province defense. My guess, he's throwing a little lightning out there, or perhaps an air elemental. Either option would work. Air shield. Let's speed it up. It's not a detailed thing. Yeah, lesser air elementals. So lesser air elementals, take a quick look. They're not great, but they work. They're ethereal. And they're flying and they can trample. Now they start off size 4, I believe, not size 3. This one's already taken some damage. Let's see if we can find one here that's at full original size. Oh, no, still size 3. So maybe they're only size 3. I can't remember. Be something to look up at another time. But size 3 is big enough to trample your average dudes. And then their attack is quite a lot of lightning. And it's armor negating. So it's going to take out most ordinary things quite effectively. So he's doing well with that. He took a few provinces using that technique. Same thing at Kalian Seraphs and Kalian Seraphs. Well, I'll be very curious to see what Soramadia does to counter that. A battle in Kratos, or Kratos, not Karas. Some barbarians. Well, I'll have to... Oh, that's that stupid throne again. What a pain in the butt. I'll have to go back there and clean it out, but it can wait. So we're coming up to my kind of favorite 15-minute limit. I think I'm going to stop with 2 turns today. Have a good one, folks. Hope to see you in game.